All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another show of Coast to Coast Outdoors. I'm Carlos. My guest today is Lindsay Gilstrap and Clay Gilstrap from Gilstrap Motorsports. They're going to be on today. They're going to tell us about themselves. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and kind of your social media links and then go from there?
Gilstrap Motorsports 26 car, and also the driver of the Gilstrap Motorsports 4505 car that runs in the 4500 class. So anyway, we're from Lufkin, Texas, and I'm practicing veterinarian here in the town of Lufkin, and that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Clay, Gilstrap Motorsports, the driver of the car 26.
All right. So these two, the reason I want to have them on the show is because they got a dynamic experience, unlike in the past episodes, we've talked about how family's been important and stuff like that. And you guys are, as many people don't know, you guys are married and have a race team and participate together. And that dynamic is pretty interesting in itself. But I want to get into what brought you into the off-road world. Like, what got you started in the off-road world?
Back when I was younger, I used to ride four-wheelers, and then we got into side-by-sides and ended up in a Suzuki Samurai and went out with a bunch of buddies to an off-road park, and it was kind of like, hey, I'm going to go up that. And I said, no, you can't. And then next thing you know, we all ended up breaking our junk and going back and fixing it and making it better, and that's how it started. And then we decided to make a competition out of it, and, hey, I'm going to go up faster, and I'm going to go faster, and then it evolved in that. Then we moved up to bigger buggies, more power, and then I actually started in the X. Kind of got my feet wet in that and enjoyed it, and that kind of went away. So I ended up in out at the Hammers, watching the King of the Hammers out there, and said, hey, I want to do that. That seems like something I want to do. So we came back and got with some guys and got a car built, and that's kind of where it started from there. And it's been a family affair. My sister, actually, Shelby Gilstrap, is actually part of our team as well, and she started in the Wee Rock. She's been Wee Rocking for several years, slow technical rock crawling, and now she's converted over to racing with us now. So we actually have four cars, but three of us, me and myself, I have two cars, and Lindsay has a car, and then Shelby has a car. So it's kind of a family affair. That's all we do. We work, come home, work on race cars all the time, and race all over.
Oh, okay. So you have two cars, Lindsay has one, and then your sister has another one. So what cars do you have? And then maybe Lindsay can tell us about her car, and then tell us about your sister also.
Yeah, I have both of my cars are built by Tribe 404 here, local in Dallas, Texas, Adam Shear. I have a solid axle car that I've had for about 5 years now. What I've started with, I've run King of the Hammers in it twice, and I've run probably 100+ races in it. Then I recently, last year, bought an IFS car, or Adam Shear built IFS car, and we started racing it for the short track, and then I've run it at the King of the Hammers this year. It's kind of got the best of both worlds. If I don't want to race the IFS car in a dirty, muddy race, I'll take the solid axle car. If it's a short track, fast stuff, and I have the options there, I guess you could say. Shelby still has her same rock crawler that was built back probably 6-7 years old now, that she was Wee Rocking in, and we all started racing and going fast. She was like, well, I want to do it. So me and my dad we work on all of our cars here at the shop. We brought it in here and changed it up, put some King shocks on it, and tuned it up a little bit better, made it a little faster for her, and she's been racing with us ever since.
Well, I started out, actually, my very first race was with actually running with Shelby as her co-driver in one of our dirt ride events. She didn't have a co-driver for the race, and it invited me to go along, and I was pretty much hooked after that. And so Clay and I started getting in the car with him, and wanted to drive as well and was begging for a car. So Clay actually surprised me a couple of years ago with a Razor 900 that we bought from a fellow racer, and let me race it through the Dirt Riot series and also at the King of the Hammers a couple of years ago. And I like the Razor, but I seemed like I was breaking so many parts every time I raced, and the competition is extremely stiff in the Razor, or I guess in the UTV world. So I decided that I really wanted to be in a big car, and this past year I bought the 4500 car from Jeff Rector, and so kept his number and raced it his very first race, actually at this year's King of the Hammers. So this is my first full season in it, and it's a total learning experience, to say the least.
Yeah. So you guys mentioned some of the series, but what series do you guys participate in? How many different series, or what series do you guys have a full race season, or are you committed to?
We run the Dirt Riot. We run the Complete Central Series, and we also do other races. We usually try to run anywhere from 10 to 12 races a year. We also run the Ultra 4, so we run the King of the Hammers, and then we'll run the Badlands, the Sturgis, Kentucky, and Hot Springs, Arkansas. We'll run the Reno, I think it's the Felipe 250 or something like Fallon 250 this year, as well as the Ultra 4 Finals.
Okay.
In Reno.
So you guys do the East Coast and the one national for Ultra 4. Do the East
Coast? One West.
Ultra 4 allows us to run one West Coast, or if we're competing in a certain series like West or East, they'll pay for basically us to free entry to go to one of the other series races. So that's a benefit. So we'll actually get to race the Reno, or not Reno, the Fallon race on kind of like on a free entry fee.
Oh, okay. So tell us a little bit about your sponsors. Who are your sponsors? I know you mentioned King and some other people, but who are your sponsors that sponsor the team?
Oh, wow. Total Equipment and Services out of Granbury, Texas. It's a oil field company. They build fracking units. They build nitrogen units and big oil field related. It's owned by C&J Energy. They are our title sponsor this year. They came on and they actually sponsored all four of our cars. They wrap all four of our cars and keep us looking professional on the race course. That's our main title sponsor this year, as well as Maxxis Tires come on this year as a second major sponsor on getting us tires for this year to keep us out front on new tires. Raceline Wheels helps us out tremendously on wheels. We change up different wheels, different races for widths and weights for different places we run. They've helped out tremendously. And I also come on board this year. Tom Kingston with Spider Tracks Off Road. We needed to rework the car. My Sawdust car has been it's 5 years old. It needed new parts, needed new axles and all that stuff. And got up with Tom and the guys and Ross over there, and they loved the sport, and they said, guys, you're a younger team and you're making it real good. So they come on board this year and helped out a lot. Also have a lot of other sponsors. There are major sponsors that come on board and actually help us get to the races. But Tom Allen at PSC has been a major help on getting parts. One of the guys you can call up and say, hey, we need these parts now. 2 days later, you have the parts. The next day, 2 days later, you have the parts there. No questions asked. You get the parts. You have problems. You send them back. They fix them, which don't happen very often, but they're there to refurbish stuff, and stuff does wear out.
Yeah.
RCV out as well on our IFS car. Then Dynamax exhaust, tire balls. Lucas Oil has helped out a lot on keeping all of our fluids in all of our cars. Because we're pretty rough on them. We run a lot of races a year, and we run long races. So keep the fluids is a major expense. Changing all the fluids, especially in 4 cars. Tire Balls has come on board and helped us out a lot, introducing new products, lighter stuff, different products, letting us, try it out. That's been a help in a lot of races. I know this year at the Hammers we had 2 flats and didn't even know it coming into the pits. We're like, check our cars out. So you got to cut tire. Well, we've been running 100 mile an hour through the desert. We didn't know we had a flat tire. The guys quickly changed back out. Gilstrap Motorsports and of course Tribe 404 for building some awesome cars that we beat on highly. Rigid lights and power tanks as well.
All right, so that's a lot of good sponsors coming on board to help you guys. That's awesome. So
as well as Gearworks is a big help as well.
Oh, okay.
Our front ends, our front thirds, and our transmission for all of our cars.
All right. So I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the interview, but what is the team dynamics? How is it that when both of you are running at the same time? Because some races, I think both of you have to run at the same time. Or do you guys enter the same event? Like
well, our main goal is, my sister races a separate class, Lindsay races a separate class than I do. But in times that we do go to some of the races that they do run at the same time, Shelby will run her class, but Lindsay will actually opt out of racing her car to be in with me, racing our 4400 class. That's kind of our main, objective, I guess you could say. Our 4400s that's where we try to stay on top of. That's our goal, is to win and keep them cars on the top.
The 4400 class and Clay's racing is by far the priority of, of course, our team's, goal in winning and so forth. And that's where a lot of the focus is put. Shelby and I, we have a great time racing, and we're definitely out for a competition, anytime we enter the track. But the focus is really on Clay to win, the 4400 class and Ultra 4 and dirt right races.
Oh, okay. Tell us a little bit. You guys mentioned King of the Hammers quite a few times. So tell us about your experience at King of the Hammers. I know you said you had 2 flats already. So how was the King of the Hammers for both of you?
Wow, this year was amazing. We went out there this year to participate and have fun, but we took the IFS car. It's the first time I've run the IFS car at the Hammers. So it's kind of new to me. And we went out, we got there 2 weeks early, went out and done a bunch of pre-running, and the car felt wonderful. I felt like, I said, this car could give us a win. We went out and did our qualifier and qualified 6 out of like 130, I think, this year. So that set the bar with our team very high this year. We knew we had a good car, and I knew I could drive it. I just had to keep it together. We started out 6 and did our first lap without a problem. We had 1 flat and come in, and guys checked the car over, changed the tire, and we took back off and went out on lap 2. Ended up, we were in 2nd place, I do believe, on lap 2 with me and Greg Adler was swapping places back and forth, going out through all the hard rock trails, jackhammer and sledge and all them. And we got out there and we got through all the hard obstacles that seemed to give a lot of other people problems during the day. We didn't have a single issue with them. We didn't winch none the first and second lap. So we come in on the 3rd lap to pit, in our main pits. Everything was doing phenomenal. Come in and got us a little drink of water and got some gas in the car. And the guy said, "Hey, you're in first place. Keep it together." We took off and went to the back door. We shot up it and didn't make it all the way up to the top, and we decided to jump out and winch. There's no sense. We're in front. There's no sense of breaking the car. Lindsay got out, did a fast winch job. We got up, went out the backside of Resolution, and the car kind of backfired and missed a little bit and shut off, and smoke started pouring out of the cabin of it. We was on fire, so we killed the car and all bailed out real fast. And long story short, there we got the fire put on, and we had a motor cover ended up coming loose and getting lodged on top of the alternator. and it burnt the wires back to the starter, from the starter all the way back to the battery, all the way to the front of the car. So it burned a lot of the wiring up. So that cost us a lot of time there. We radioed the pits and got, I think, Derek West, he was coming through exit at that time. They got us some wiring out there, and he was nice enough to drop it off for us. Rewired the car, got it fired back up, and the alternator wasn't charging. So it took us a little while. So we ended up changing out the alternator and the starter. 4 hours later, we called in the guys. This was at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Look, hey, we got the car back going. What do we look like on time? Said, go for it. So we both got back in the car after working on it. It was hot and tired, and said, hey, we're not going to stop till the car quits or we finish. We had to start finish line again. So we took back off and went out there, and I think back in one trail, we ended up getting there. It's dark. We ended up having to pull the winch cable one more time. At Wrecking Ball. Other than that, we blowed through the desert. We were running 85 and 90 down through the desert there at dark. Couldn't see a whole lot. Fighting traffic. Guys were still out there limping in, still racing. Motor started missing. And the motor started missing a little bit. We went in the last pit there, and the guys checked the car out and said, hey, you got a coil wire that's broke, but it's still together. So, you got 20 miles left. Go for it. So we held it on the floor and ended up, I think, 19th. We went from leading the race and up to 19th or 17th. 17th overall out of 190. So it's not a bad deal. We gave it all we did, and it was phenomenal for us just to go through going from first, having all the problems, and still ended up finishing the race 17th. And there's still a lot of guys out there didn't finish.
Yeah, that shows.
So that's how we started.
It shows a lot of determination on your part as your team to not only power through the problems, but also go through and fix it and then go ahead and finish the race out at the end. So how is it for you, Lindsay, being a co-driver for Clay? I mean, it's got to be an interesting conversation inside the car.
Well, actually, I mean, it gets pretty interesting at times, depending on what we're doing. Of course, in the first hours of the King of the Hammers, when we were running, as fast as we were, there wasn't really any time for, small talk or anything like that. I was really busy making sure that I was calling his GPS, and our markers out correctly, so he didn't hit any bumps or stuff that would be detrimental to the car. Fortunately for me, I'd ran the EMC race the day before, so I had a really good feel for what we were going to hit when we were going to hit it on those first 2 laps, and I was very confident in that. So I spent, the first 2 laps of the King of the Hammers really just making calls for him, left, right, making sure that he didn't make any mistakes, making sure he picked the best lines, because I had previously driven it the day before and pretty much had done that flawless, other than the hang up at Jackhammer and another hang up at Wrecking Ball that just didn't allow me to finish in the time limit on the EMC race. So I was really confident going in and really felt like I could make the calls for him. But I started getting kind of nerve-wracking when the chopper started flying over as we were going to the desert, and the chopper almost, when I looked out the window through my helmet, I could see the chopper. It was almost like it was right there to touch it. And Clay mentioned, he's like, why is that chopper following us? We must be doing pretty good. And I knew that we were in first place and I knew what was going on, but the pits had told us that we were in third. So I kept lying to him and telling him that we were in third place. And that just so anyway, for that part of it, it was really pretty more of an intensity type thing. So he doesn't make mistakes. And in a lot of races, that's what happens. And that's the one reason I do enjoy racing the 4,500 car, is because I do get a look at the race course 400 guys drive. So have an idea as to what he's going to be doing, what to call, what to drive, and what's going to be best for him, and how to do that. But other times when things are quiet and it's, an easier course or something that we've been on, he knows what he's doing already. I think sometimes I just get on his nerves, and he swears he turns off my helmet and shuts me off. So I maybe just talking
like
to the wind.
Like we do now?
To turn me down.
So, all right. So the other, the last race you guys went to for Dirt Riot, I saw something on on Facebook that you guys had to change out a transmission. So tell me about that race and how did that race go and what happened to the transmission?
Well, we've raced 3 races this year so far, but besides the last race, and we raced the IFS car at the Hammer, so we come back and we tear all of our cars apart. The solid axle car, we decided we started out in Moab this year, in the dirt ride. So we went out and run that one with the same car, and we won that race and didn't have a whole lot of problems. We come back, we went to Fredericksburg, and we raced that race with the same car, same everything is great. We come back, touched on it a little bit, and no problem. So we went into the 3rd race this year with that car, and we didn't have a Gearworks transmission in there, a different transmission that we had got with the IFS car. We didn't. The Reed case, we just didn't know a whole lot about it. The guy said it was a built good transmission, so we actually put it in the car. And, well, it didn't make it. We went to qualifying. We were the last to qualify, and we knew one of our tough competitors in the dirt ride had actually set it a pretty good bar there and set a high. I think he was fastest qualifier, so we were the last ones. And I said, we've really got to get on the car. And we were beating on the car pretty hard, and I think it broke the front output shaft of the front pump. Went out. Something poured fluid out of fire there in the middle of the car and got it put out and everything. And luckily that was on a Friday afternoon. We raced on Saturday about lunch. So we got it pulled back and we had both cars there. We had the IFS car and we were like, we qualified in this car. We're going to fix this car. So therefore several other teams, which is great about our sport, is your neighbors will come over and help you regardless of what you're doing. So several other teams came over. We, about 5 hours later, we pulled the old transmission out and stuck a new Gearworks transmission in there. Got all the car back going late about 12 o'clock that night. Got up the next morning, buttoned the car up. We went and tested the car. It worked great. But that put us not finishing our qualifier, put us at 12th, I think.
12th or whatever last place was.
12 or 13. I think one of the cars didn't actually make it. So I think it was 12. So it put us in 12th place starting out. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained. So it was very, very muddy. We started out dead last. First lap ended up getting stuck in a mud hole. Lindsay, so that put us out just as soon as we left out of the gate, completely covered in mud. Lindsay jumps out, hooks the cable up, we winch out of it, and getting seat belted back in, and the first place guy actually lapped us. And we're like, oh, this is going to be a long race. 2 hours in the mud, and we got our game plan together and stuck to it, and we ended up lapping everybody out there and ended up 2nd place in that race. So the car held up well. She kept me pretty calm. I was kind of wanted to catch everybody, but I had to also keep the car together for 2 hours in a mud race. So it was a good race, but it was tough. The mud just makes everything miserable. You get it in your face, you get it in your eyes, and you raise your visor up, and it's running down the backside of your visor. It's just a long, hard race, but we ended up, car worked phenomenal, ended up, 2nd place, I think a couple minutes behind the guy. So we did good. I can't argue going from 12th, to 2nd. I think we had a good race.
All right. So what's the next race? I think it's Badlands coming up this month. Is that the next race?
Month?
Yeah.
Yeah. We brought all of our cars home, and we tore them all down, tore the axle apart, and we've been washing on them for about 4 days, I guess now, trying to get all the mud out of them. Going through all the axles, checking everything, maintenance and everything, rebuild everything on them. So, and me and my dad and Lindsay, it's a family affair. Everything we do, my family, is involved in it. We bring all the cars back, rebuild them all, get them all, and we go race as a family. We work on them as a family.
Well, it's really more like Clay and Billy works on them as a family, but
Lindsay does the technical behind the scenes stuff
Lee and I, she comes in and helps sweep on the floors and helps where she can, and then I come in and help where I can, but my job sometimes keeps me at my office, and in fact, this is my afternoon off, so thank goodness I have time to do this, but my job keeps me at the office a lot of late hours, so I don't get to work on the cars and help out as much as I like. And So really and truly, it's Clay and Billy that just keep these cars all running, and how they do it as a two-man show, really, I'm not real sure, because it's sometimes insanity around here.
Yeah. All right. What are you guys planning anything special for next year? Or are you guys just gonna win KOH next year and just sweep everything just like everybody else?
That's what we're planning.
That would be nice.
That would be so nice.
We're hoping to do good this year and hope to pick up some more sponsors. This racing in the caliber racing we're doing, we're running constantly running in the top 5. It gets expensive. It's a lot of maintenance, a lot of work. Our goal this year is to do the best we can and hopefully pick up some more sponsors to help us move to the next level. I think we've had the cars, we have the talent, and we're there. We just need to get a little bit more bump to get up there and try to start just winning all the races we go to. I know it's far fetched, but that's the goal for next year. If we get it worked out, we plan on going and hitting more races and try to shoot for that number 1 spot, which we do. But we're going to try to stay there. I know Lauren's on top of his game this year. Shannon's been, Levi. There's a lot of guys, that are out there, and I'd like to be up there and be with one of them guys soon.
Yeah. Well, running in 5th place against everybody else is not a bad thing. You guys are, up there, so you guys should not be down on that. That's a very respectable place. I know that winning is a big part, but you got to get there. You'll get there eventually. I know it.
A lot of time, dedication, and it just gets expensive keeping new parts. It takes new parts and a well-maintained car to run up to stay at the very top. Yeah, that's true.
What sets Clay and Gilstrap Motorsports, aside from some of the rest of the guys, is his don't give up, no quit attitude. We could have just as well quit out there at KOH when that fire hit our car. But the fire inside of him says not to ever quit or ever give up. And I think that's what sets us apart as a team from just about anybody else is our don't give up, don't quit attitude and our will to, survive out there.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to cover? I think we're just about out of time here, so just wanted to make sure you guys.
I know a lot of people are going to watch this videos. More people need to come out to the races. We race all over the country. We race from California to Kentucky, Texas, Oklahoma. We race a lot of, I think more people need to come out and watch and get into it. It's a great sport. It's a family-oriented sport as well.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing your part, but I'm sorry, what was that?
The spectators are what keeps us going.
Yeah. I think more people are starting to find out about the off-road community. I think it's Ultra 4 has started catering to that. I think Badlands, I've been to a couple of their races, and they're starting to do a whole event where it starts getting more people, that's by far the 2 biggest that I've seen. I think
Sturgis.
Sturgis.
Yeah. Yep. It's a short track, very friendly. And I know last year Bill Baird had a big. They had monster truck shows, a car show. They had a big blowout there last year. I think this year they're bringing the rock bouncers out, so it's going to have another Ultra 4 and rock bouncer competition, which is great fun and it's great for the sport as well. Yeah.
So I think those two. No, there's a lot of more race. I think people are starting to get, as race organizers are starting to make it more spectator friendly. There's more family events and things like that. It'll attract more people, but it's going to take time. You're not going to have these long races too often anymore because it's not spectator friendly sometimes. You need a place for action to be and things like that. So, as it starts fixing itself or the organization starts making changes, they'll get more people and people will come. So,
just the off-road industry as a whole is just growing phenomenal. more and more people are coming. We have more competitors, and there's a lot more competitors that are stepping up and making us guys at the top stay on our game. Because if we slip a little bit, there's guys coming up that's ready to knock us out.
Yeah, there's a lot more people. When I first started coming out, it was like 2010. It was my first King of the Hammers experience, and I was like, oh, there's a lot more. From then till now, the engineering and all that stuff has by far. You can't just come with a regular vehicle. You just gotta come guns drawn out there and get going. So
yeah,
but
it's changed a lot. I mean, the Ultra 4 game has just went out the roof. Everybody's stepping up with better parts, better cars, and drivers. It's tough competition now.
Yep, it is. All right, I think we're out of time. So it was a pleasure having you guys on the show. If you guys ever want to come on and talk about your races, let us know, and then we'll get you guys on here. So thank you for coming on. Again, this is Coast to Coast, and there's Gilstrap Motorsports on Facebook. And then I'll put all the social media links on iTunes. Just click on the page if you're on iTunes. If you're on YouTube, just look at the description below, and you'll be able to get a hold of them or be able to contact them through Facebook and stuff. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.